Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Steam Barons is an attempt to take Steam the game, not to be confused with Age of Steam, and make it more like 18xx. This is going to add in another board, which is much appreciated, double-sided board, but you're going to get a stock market that will be attached to it. So now you can start doing stock market actions. I think this really works with this game if you want some more complexity to it. You don't want to dive into an 18xx, which could be an all-day experience in some cases, but you already have Steam, you invested in it, and now you want the stock market. Steam Barons is going to do that for you, and it does so in a very interesting way. It works very nicely. The dividend system is nice. I think everything in it works. And, I mean, this is going to be very narrow, but if you want that stock market into Steam, this is going to be your solution. This is going to be what I would call an 18xx light, all right? So Steam's going to have the stock market. You're going to put in there, you're going to have a little bit of complexity in that the company's going to have money, and now you're going to have money, and there's going to be separate entities. That's going to be something for people to wrap their mind around, and it will play into it. So, very easy to recommend this if you're looking for a stock market into Steam Barons, into Steam, and you playing Steam, and you want a little bit more, this will absolutely do it without having to jump off the deep end into an XX. If you like this, and you're wanting more, then maybe the XX series, 18xx series will be something you want to look into. I'm going to purge this one because I play Age of Steam and not Steam, but this is a very good addition to Steam that I think a lot of people that want a little bit more will enjoy. Here is Steam Barons. This is an expansion to Steam, which tells you right there on it, designed by Martin Wallace himself. When you open it up, you're going to get a number of trains and wooden pieces in here. You can tell there are a ton. You're going to get some tiles for the rails that will be put out on the board. You're going to get some certificates. Now, these are particularly important. These are cardboard and very nice, not paper at all. And then you're going to have some money tokens that will be in here. You're going to get a rulebook, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. You're going to get a stock market card, which you will see right here. And we'll have the shares and stuff that you can utilize on this. And you're going to get a double-sided board that you will have here. One side on this, and the other side like so. So you're going to have the double board that you'll have. Very nice double board. Very, very colorful. Looks very nice. I got to say the components are in line with what you would expect from a Martin Wallace game. In addition, what you would expect from Steam. Here's a rulebook for Steam Baron. You're going to see a picture just like the front of the page. You're going to have a table of contents over here with the components, with pictures, everything that you're going to have. The base and standard rules for both maps and setup of starting the game over here on the right. Then an overview of how to play the game as you go through. The end of the game over here, any desired notes, and then the back is just a summary or a reference sheet that you'll have. Pretty good rule book if you know how to play Steam and you ever played any of those XX games. I think you'll be just fine. So let's talk about this version a little bit. You're going to have a double-sided board. This is going to be best played with 5 or 6 players. You're going to get 16 black cubes that will be shuffled in with the rest of those, and they will be delivered to the black cities there. In addition, you're going to get some additional tiles that will be utilized in this one, and you can put those with your normal tiles. A couple things here you'll notice there's some port signs. That's where you have to start your trains from. And then you'll see some that are next to each other that have the railroad sign onto them. These are adjacent. You would just put one of your markers on those, and then you would be adjacent to those. So that's going to work a little bit differently in this set. You also have a new terrain type, the mountain hex. These will be a little bit different, and you'll have hills that you'll have on the board. The hills are going to... So in this board, you're going to have hills and mountains. That will be a little bit different. To go on a hill, it's going to cost you $2 additional. For a mountain, it will be $3, and that's one of the little changes here. You can see the artwork is a little bit different than in the other base game. So in this version, you're going to have a stock market, if you think like an XX game, where the shares and values of the companies will be a little bit different. One little difference is each round you have an opportunity to buy shares from the different companies. These will be auctioned off with the first player getting the first auction, and then the highest bidder getting the shares for the company, and that's how you will handle these. You will then take the shareholder thing if you hold the most shares in it, which is fine until somebody has more shares than you, then they will take the representation of the shares. Companies will now build the tracks on the board. Remember, it does have to come from a port symbol,
and a $5 marker if you need additional money can be placed on the share to show that you issued shares for it. So you put it right here on the share to show you issued shares. And that's the only way you can get more money to build track in this regard. Once you start building it, it has to be issued to the shares. Cubes are moved the same way they are in Steam, except for the company has to have ownership of the track. You can only move through your own track. And you'll be able to move 2 cubes on your turn, but it has to go through that company's shared track, the ones that they own. That's a little bit different than the base game. Then you're going to refer to this track right here. This is going to tell you the final performance, how many victory points that company has, the dividends, the profit, and CEO bonus that's going to pay out at this point in the game during Phase 4. The player who owns the most shares in the company will receive the CEO bonus, which is this pink row on the chart over here. The company itself will receive the company profits, and the dividends are paid out to each person who owns a share. For each share that you own, you're going to receive the amount. So if you had a final performance of 10, each person who owns a share is going to get $4. The company itself will get $4, and whoever has control of the company will get $1. Over here is going to be that we're going to be tracking the share price. In the 5th phase, players can now sell their shares. You can sell as many as you like, and this is the pricing that you would get here on this track right here. If a company's share price ends up on the B, they are now bankrupt. The company's out of the game and all of its shares are worthless, and I'll just place it back in the box. The company's track record tracks remain on the board and can be used by any other company. However, moving good cubes along the track does not add to any of the performance of the company. So if it ever falls all the way to B, they will become completely worthless. At the end of the game, whoever has the most money is the winner. The remainder of the rules are exactly like Steam. So these are the only little change that you're having is this buying and selling of the shares, moving it up. And if the companies itself, not the players, will be purchasing the track and moving the cubes down.
Who should buy this game? Anybody who wants to play 18xx but maybe isn't ready for the big boys yet. They know Steam, comfortable with Steam, and want to add a stock market to it. Very easy to do. Or you played Steam and you want to save a little bit more, and you like the idea of there being stock markets and different companies inside of that. I think that will work here. This is not for the faint of heart. It adds complexity a little bit, but those that are willing to jump in will find something they can easily appreciate.